Hello everyone, welcome to this webinar. My name is Theodora. I am the Customer Success Manager for MindJet. So welcome to this webinar where we're going to see how MindManager can help you to make decisions and solve problems. The webinar will last about 45 to 50 minutes depending on the questions asked. If you have any questions, please use the chat window provided in the GoToMeeting and I will answer them at the end. I will record and publish this in our website, just like the last ones. So in a few days, you will be able to listen to it by accessing the link on the screen directly or by visiting our website. We are all aware of the huge amount of information that we handle every day. I'm sure that you are all familiar with situations where you're looking for a file and you just know that you have it, but you have so much data coming through your hands every day that you just don't know where the data is. I started this webinar asking a question. Making decisions and solving problems, is it the same battle? So I have here the cover of a book, Travel to the Center of Organizations, where Henry Mintzberg explains that whether we are making decisions or trying to solve issues, in both cases we need to go through the same three stages, which I'm going to cover next. The first one is the formalization stage. In this stage is where we have to take into account a need or a situation, then there is a need to react, and then we have to validate different options and make a choice. To achieve this, we need to obtain the maximum of information that we can. We can also try to find any pre-existing cases with the same issues we can learn from, and then we need to apply them to our current situation. Or we can also look at best practices if there are any best practices already documented that we can apply to our problem. Also, we can look at the advice and suggestions from experts in the field, colleagues, even friends, if we have any friends that have knowledge enough in the subject to help us. And then this takes us to the choice stage. So how are we going to make decisions? How are we going to evaluate the risks, the constraints, etc.? And how is this going to work in our environment? Can we apply the same lessons or theory to our organization? Because something has had good results for someone else doesn't necessarily mean that it can be applied to any organization, as each organization is different. So we need to select different scenarios and identify the factors that can make the operation successful. So this takes us to the last stage, the execution stage, where we can define a plan of action, define which tasks need to be executed, also define the responsibilities of each one of the resources, and define the metrics. So to get to this stage, there's a lot that we can do. So let's see what are the tools and methods available to you. So we can do brainstorming. We can gather all the ideas from our colleagues and throw them on the board and then analyze them one by one. We can brainstorm any problem, regardless the subject and department. Everything can be discussed and analyzed, from specific technical problems to the direction of a whole organization. With MindManager, we have methods that answer all these questions: who, what, where, when, and so on. In the decision matrix, we can display all the details regarding the decisions that we are going to make, and this will facilitate making that decision. We can also use the Pareto charts to represent the different causes of an event in a graphical way. And then we also have the cause-effect diagrams. These diagrams offer a perfect overview showing the causes and the linked effects. The best known diagram of this type is the diagram Ishikawa, which looks like the bones of a fish. I'm sure you knew that. And then we can also find different types of graphical representations with MindManager, where we can see the existing issues. We are going to use them to look at the different causes, the different effects, different interactions, participants, so that we can avoid the graph from becoming overcomplicated like this one that we can see on the screen. So why MindManager? So how can MindManager help you? Because MindManager offers you several different ways to create maps. It provides several tools to simplify the way we work. So for example, there are several map templates that can be used to create mind maps, so there is no need to start from scratch, and there is a lot of time saved. You have templates in different sections: management, meetings, personal productivity, problem solving, project management, etc. Map sections, as the name says, there are map sections that you can add to the main map. Map branches that are already built, and you only need to drag and drop, so that you gain a lot of time. There are several ones to choose from, and depending on what you are working on or what you want to achieve, you may find a particular display more convenient than another, so you can choose. So there are several elements that are already built which will facilitate the task of brainstorming, and again, saving you a lot of time and effort. And you also have the assistant, an assistant that can be of help when you brainstorm, and that will make it easier for you to add all the different ideas that you want to work with. We will see it later during the demo, which I would like to start now. So I'm going to jump to a map that I have prepared for you. This is about a company that creates batteries for electric cars. But before we get into this example demo, I would like to very quickly go over what is MindManager, so for the new people that may be listening to us today. So MindManager is a tool that allows you to create mind maps, and these mind maps are a visual display of different ideas and information linked together that can be very easily dragged and dropped and organized. So we could say that MindManager is like a dynamic flipchart, and we can even enrich this dynamic flipchart with other external data from other applications, like it could be Outlook, Word, Excel, other systems, even the internet, web content. And because we have all the information available to our fingertips, it will be very easy to generate new ideas and solve problems, and we will have more visibility of all this data. This means that we would be better prepared to make smarter strategic business decisions. MindManager can be used in several different projects and departments. The main usages and benefits go from getting more visibility and clarity when doing brainstorming, sharing information and improving communication amongst teams. It can also be used to manage projects, increasing project success rate, and we can also use it to have more visibility, as I was mentioning earlier, when making strategic decisions and solving problems. And this is what we're going to cover today. So the way we start them up is I'm going to just very quickly start a new one here. So we have the central topic, and just by hitting the enter key on your keyboard, you can create new topics. Then if you want to create another layer of subtopics, then you hit control, and there you have another layer. Then you can keep on entering the enter key and keep working on your map. You can also create a floating element, which then you can add to the different areas of your map, or you can just move ideas around depending on how the brainstorming session evolves. So it's very easy to move your ideas around as the discussion evolves. Very easy and very fast. So as you can see with the layout, it's a very intuitive tool. It follows the design from Microsoft, where you can find all the items at the top in this ribbon. Things like saving, you know already that you will find it under File and Save. or inserting icons, you would just need to come here and insert the different elements that you find already available on the top. So yeah, all data is at our fingertips, which is to me one of the best benefits from MindManager. You will save yourself so many headaches and time when looking for information, because everything is in the same location. It also means that we have visibility of all parts of our project, and so we have it under control at all times as it evolves. So I'd like to switch now to the previous map I started showing you earlier. So as I was saying earlier, let's imagine that we are an organization that develops and sells batteries for electric cars. So I'm going to start by changing the subject to batteries. So I have a problem with some of the batteries, and I would like to find solutions in this project. There are many ways to start creating a map. I have started this one by using a Virgin document, which you can access here, but you can also go to File and New, and in here you can find all the different templates depending on the type of map that you want to build. So for this case, because we are talking about brainstorming, then I would go to this folder, and in here I can see many more. Within them I can find the brainstorming one. As you can see, I have logistics, ideas, plan of action, and so on, but we don't have to use the template every time either, and instead you can just use the Virgin document I mentioned earlier. So coming back to my initial map, I would like to continue to add some ideas here. So you can see that I already started creating some of them, which I still need to organize, but yeah, how I'm going to do this in a way that makes sense. Well, I can go to the map parts. I'll find in this side of the screen map parts. I will find several map sections that I can drag and drop, and which will help me to develop the map further. Not just to organize ideas, but to analyze them, go deeper, and extract more meaning from them. So for example, for this idea, 90% eco-friendly batteries, what do I understand by this? As you can see under the map parts, I have several folders, and inside each one I have several map branches ready there. You may be able to see this as I am showing you, or you may be seeing them in this format, list view. I'm mentioning this because I always get many questions about people that don't find the thumbnails the same way I do. So here's where you change it. So if I select, for example, idea, when you look at the different branches, it will give me an opportunity to describe what do I understand by description and pros and cons and so on. So what are the advantages of this idea? What are the disadvantages? What do I really understand by it? And so on. So by answering these questions, I will get more insight of the idea, and this is part of the beauty of this map branch. So how else can I use these map parts? Well, I can also come to my main subject and bring another branch which will help me to organize the whole map. So for example, I could use refine ideas. And so this will help me to move them around. So For example, this is probably new. What's new? This one maybe represents the benefits, values, and depending on what I am doing, I would just one or another, or I could also change the titles here and even keep it for later, for another occasion when I need it. So basically allows us to organize the ideas according to these branches. This exercise will trigger answers and ideas that I may have ignored otherwise and that are important to consider. And we can even create our own branches, so you could just change the text to anything. Okay, just to see that it has changed. Then just take the idea, drag it and drop it here. And as you can see, if I add it again, I have the same text. So you could basically create more branches that you may use over and over again, so it will save you a lot of time for your next project if you tend to work in similar projects. So together with these tools, there's also some other important tools. For example, the Brainstorming Assistant, which you can find here at the top, or you can also find from this right section. So underneath you have three main tools that you can use. So with the Define Challenges one, you can access a list of questions that can be applied to different situations that you can answer, or if they don't apply to your situation, you can also create your own questions and challenges by editing the list. Yeah, so you could select any of them or more, and at the same time add them to the map. Like in this case, I could add them to the map, or you could add them from here. So again, yeah, saving me a lot of time and work. And there are also the inspirational cards for the challenge. So these cards can boost up the creativity when looking at an idea or when looking at different ways to solve a problem, and so finding a solution will become a lot easier. Maybe we are stuck when solving a problem, or we simply don't see the solutions, and by going through these cards we will be able to see a problem outside the box. So yeah, you can also add more cards to this deck, and maybe they are more in line with the other subjects that you normally deal with, and you prefer to have them there. Then we have as well the generation of ideas tool. You can use it in a similar way that we use the challenge. So just by entering the ideas here, you can very easily generate them. So that's why it's good. It allows us to be faster when entering ideas. It's very good when we are maybe brainstorming in a group and you just want to type all the ideas as they are being suggested. Normally we have a person dedicated to this, to take all the notes, so this person can be really fast. Yeah, so it allows you to create them faster. Then you have as well the categorize and refine section. Here we have a different way to add branches to the subject. We covered earlier how we could add branches, and this is very similar. We have two groups of branches. the ones to categorize the ideas here and the ones to refine them. So we can flick through them and then add them to the map by hitting add branches to the map. So you can choose them from here and then add them to the map by hitting this button. So if I go to the main subject, so as you can see, it has been added. So in this case, it's fairly easy for me to move ideas around because I can very easily identify under which category they should go. So again, very similar, allows me to very quickly organize them. So for many reasons, things just become too complex sometimes, and it's not so easy to identify which ideas you should move to one area or another. And so in cases like this, we also have an assistant to make the analysis for you. And this assistant is the analysis one, which I'm going to show you very quickly. Okay, I'm trying to bring everything closer. Okay, so yeah, we have an assistant that will help us with the analysis, and this assistant is available right next to the Brainstorming Assistant, this one. So again, by going to the Advanced tab and the Analysis, you will be able to find it. So to use this, I have to select some of my ideas first, and then I'll have to launch it. So let's do that. I select some of the ideas, actually all of them, and then I will launch it. So this matrix will come up. In this case, I have the creative factor against the realistic one. I could also change this and call a different one by hitting the configure button and choose another one from the list, another matrix. So in here you have all these fields that will allow you to edit the labels coming up. And if you go here, then you will be able to see all the other different analyses available. There are templates, you can create many more, and yeah, they will be available for you for the next time. So let's stick with this one. Then what we need to do is to select all the ideas on the left and add them to the matrix. So if you have noticed, all the ideas I deselect in my map are now appearing in this section. So I'm going to select them and then hit this button, move topic to view. So and then, since I'm looking for innovative ideas, I want to see which ones meet the high mark in the creativity side. I'm looking for innovative ideas, but still I don't want them to be too risky either. So the realistic factor should not be too low ideally. Then I start dragging and dropping them to the different areas of the map. So I'm going to do this just at random, just so that you see that depending on where they are, their icons will change. Let's say, for example, the 90% eco-friendly batteries. 90% seems a very high percentage for a battery to be eco-friendly, so it means it's probably a very creative idea and not very realistic. So I will maybe place it somewhere in this quadrant, and maybe so I wouldn't place it in this area maybe, because it's not that realistic. So I will maybe place it here. So one by one you can follow the same procedure with all the other ideas, and then in the end they will be placed in different areas, and depending on where they're placed, then they will inherit a marker that would have a meaning. Like in this case, I'm happy with this idea. Okay, so I have chosen this marker. So if I have a large map, it would be kind of difficult to then transfer all these icons to the map. So the beauty with MindManager is that you can just click on this button, and all the ideas on the map will now be identified with the same icon that I had in this matrix. It will also make it easier for me to manage the different ideas by using the analysis mode, when I don't have the knowledge to maybe go through each one of them as I did earlier, just by dragging and dropping them. So here I have only 3 different markers, but I could also have more of them indicating different things, so they would be even more meaningful when looking at them in the map. Sometimes once we have run an analysis or a study, we need to explain our findings, and all this takes time. In this case, we just need to copy the results to the map and share them with the team, and everything is self-explanatory, providing of course that the whole team understands and knows how to interpret all this. So now that we have clearly defined all ideas and priorities, it also becomes easier for us to decide how to categorize or organize them. So I can now add a branch to the map, maybe to product development. I could look for map branches. For example, categorize ideas. And now I have more clarity about which ones maybe I'm going to investigate, and which ones I'm going to go for. So yeah, it becomes easier for us to decide how to categorize and organize them. We can save a lot of time and effort too with the analysis assistant, mainly if we are dealing with a high number of ideas. Once we have the result, it's a lot easier for us to decide how to organize and treat these ideas. MindManager also allows you to create a plan to execute the ideas. I'm going to show you now. So if we create another branch, we move all this here. And now I would like to assign different tasks to people. So we are going to execute these ideas, and so we need to assign information to each one of them to know who is going to take care of them. So if I select it and I go to task info, I'm going to add the start date, due date, duration, and the resource to this particular task. I can also add the comments to the task. So for example, attention to this idea, because for some reason I want the team to pay special attention to it. Change color. Maybe I have a particular task where I have received an email with some advice from an expert, so I can very easily go to my Outlook, take the email and just drop it here. So this is something you can do very easily. I'm opening Outlook in my other window. So for example, this email, I could just drag and drop it anywhere in the map. And as you can see, it has been added to it. The subject is displayed here, the same subject, and then the text, which I have in my email, is also displayed in this little notes file that I have here, icon, and yeah, it's displayed in this window here. So you have all the information that you need at your fingertips. Not only that, but the file that I had attached to my email is also coming up here, and I can open it just by clicking on it. So here you just find it. So when you need to make a decision, you need to have visibility of all the information you are working with. The more access you have to this information, the better prepared you will be to make that decision. But at the same time, if we have too much information, that can also stop us from viewing what is important. So in these cases, I can use the power filter, which is why I have added all these different icons here so that you can see how it works. So you can access the power filter from here. So the power filter allows you to call all the items under a specific category, and so you can concentrate in just these icons. Items, sorry. So when I say category, I'm referring to all the different ways you have to classify the different ideas. It could be icons indicating priority, progress, flags, arrows, resources like this one here, anything that we have used in the map. Even the color of the text or the background that we have used, like in this case, could be used to call these different items. So in this case, I could, for example, select priority 2 and apply the filter. And yeah, I have here only the items with priority 2, which then I can concentrate and work with. So this is especially good in projects where you have several different items in your map, and yeah, you need to have a better view of which items you're going to concentrate in. So once you are ready with the map, how can you share it? Maybe you needed to share it with the team. So you can export the results to a PDF file. When you do so, only the items filtered will be exported, like in this case the ones that you can see on the screen. So then you can share it with the rest of the team. You may have different preferences for the file you want to export it to. You can also choose other options. So if you go to File and Export, you don't just find the PDF, but you can also find the SWF file, which you can use, for example, in your intranet. Maybe you have a specific section in your intranet about problem resolution subjects, so you could publish it there. Then you have many more ways of exporting it, like an image or maybe as a zip file, which then you can email to a colleague if you need to. PowerPoint, great to present to a particular department all decisions that have been made. or also Word. So I need to first save it. And in here you have several different options when you create your file. So the depth of the context to be exported, up to which level you want data to be exported. You can choose if you want to export the images or not, topics, notes, etc, etc. Then you have as well another two tabs where you can specify further what you want to export. So yeah, depending on the content you choose to add, the file will be larger or not. Like if you want to add the notes, more information that you can add to the map, to the different ideas, yeah, the file will grow, makes sense. And Word has opened it in my other screen, which I'm moving now. So here's the result. So in the same way, you could export the whole file just by, the whole map, just by removing the filter that I had added here. So here you can see how easy it is to share data with other people just by clicking on the type of file that you want to export the data as, and exporting it. This would remove the need of transcribing all the notes and save everyone a lot of time and effort. So yeah, MindManager is a very simple tool that allows anyone to manage all the stages of the decision making process through the usage of templates, map parts, brainstorming and analysis assistant, and in general different ways to display and analyze your ideas, which then you can share straight away in just a few clicks, gaining time and increasing productivity for yourself and the team. And so yeah, with this we have reached the end of the webinar. Thanks very much for attending today. Hopefully you found it useful, and I'm looking forward to see you in my next one. Until then, enjoy your week.